Hello, I hope you have been well. It is time, people. It is time. We are going to tackle the kitchen garden beds here. So what I really want to do in this video is basically show you how I prep my beds for a growing season. We may plant up a few little seedlings, but the main thing I am wanting to achieve is getting everything prepped. So I will go through my steps with you, just so you can kind of see how I get it ready. I don't do anything crazy extravagant, but I've got like a bit of a process that works really well for me. Definitely needs a huge tidy up in here. I want to get the plant supports here to lift up the salvia to open up this bed. I need to do like a repair. We need to put compost through. I want to add extra potting soil. Yes, there is definitely a few steps to be done, checking all the irrigation and that. So that's basically what I'm wanting to do with you in this video. It's going to be a big old garden video, getting the beds all ready to go, and it should be a lot of fun, practical, but still really enjoyable. So I hope you will join me for that. I don't take out everything either. So for example, the spring onions and the spinach, the rosemary, all of that will just be staying in the beds. I'm going to try and keep some of the salvia because the bees, I mean, I don't know if it comes across in camera, but there are so many bees right now on that salvia, and I think it's just such a good food source for them. And it's also great for the garden to be drawing the bees in for pollinating all of my fruit trees. I've got the orchard just this way through here, so the more bees the merrier. But that is the plan of action. I hope you will join me for it. And if you do love this kind of content, garden kind of practical tips, garden and cottage tours, that sort of thing, definitely hit that subscribe button and join my little YouTube family here. Very much sort of cozy, slow living, gardening, that kind of content. Gosh, so happy with how these salvia have bounced back after they're pruned back. Anywho, without further ado, the first thing we are going to do, I guess, first step in prepping any of your beds, or really any of your garden beds, is try to make sure you have your materials handy. If the mood strikes and you start getting through a big project like this and you run out of something, there is nothing more annoying than getting halfway through something and then not being able to finish it. So I've got a few bags of potting soil, like organic sort of potting soil, to pop in here, and I do have chicken manure to go through here as well, but I don't think I've got enough potting soil. So what we are going to do first is basically, the first step is gathering all of our ingredients for our kitchen garden bed. So let's head to the garden centre. Let's pick up some additional potting soil. I'm also thinking to pick up a additional bag of chicken manure, and I am going to have a little hunt around in their seedlings section and just see what they have. Let's just see if there's anything that takes my fancy. The other thing that I am looking for the chicken manure, and I'm wondering if they'll have it there, is like a big metal scoop, if you will, so that I can use that to scoop up the chicken manure and kind of like sprinkle it around, instead of, at the moment, I'm having to kind of get my garden gloves in there, and it's yeah, it's not lovely. So I think a metal scoop would be much easier, and it's something I could kind of clean afterwards and kind of just, yeah, keep everything tidy and fresh, I think. All right, let's head to the garden centre. We have arrived at the garden centre. It is quite the fresh day today. It is quite windy, and the wind is fresh.
Weave my way around.
Just seeing what they've got in their fruit trees. How weird is that? That's a very weird fruit. It's pineapple sage. Oh, it smells pineapple-y. Huh, that's so funny. It smells like pineapple. So just having a little look through. I shall try and restrain myself and not buy too much. And really just try and focus on the kitchen garden stuff. A teddy bear magnolia. How cool is that? They normally get massive. 3 to 4 meters, yeah. They do normally get very big, but I suppose that's possibly like even a smaller version of a magnolia. They normally get absolutely massive. Oh, wow, how pretty are these? Goodness, that's like those Malaysian orchids that I've got in the garden. Oh, they're quite cute. Oh, wow, these are quite cute. Full sun, part shade. They don't get super tall. It's a ground cover. Abundance purple flower. Hardy ground cover. Ooh. Yeah. What do you think about that for above the beehive?
This.
Yeah.
It says full sun,
Part shade. But it does say dry tolerant.
That's cool.
So just headed inside. I'm having a little look around at the indoor plants and pots. This is quite nice.
Oh,
The leaves are really nice here.
isn't it beautiful? It's a petite midnight, whatever.
God. Midnight Petite. It's a ficus.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. And like, look at the pot holder underneath is really
Yeah.
pretty. Like really ornamental. That's a very nice pot. I know, with like the gold, it's very pretty. So just in the garden tools section, I'm just going to try and see if they've got that metal scoop that I was looking for. I feel like if someone was going to have it, they would have it here. Ooh, here we go, here we go. Like this is what I'm looking for. Perfect, is exactly what I'm looking for. Very happy with that. So it shall be added to the pile. I've got a couple of plants in there as well. So we're doing well. Rightio. I'm in all the soils. I'm going to just pick up, I've ordered my organic potting soil. They've got some at the back. So they're just going to take it around to the car for me. I'll get my plants, my big scoop, and we are done. So mission complete. We've got the premium organic potting mix. I've got a number of bags of those. I've got a stockpile at home as well. So hopefully that is enough. And I've got plants and the scoop in the back. I'll show you all of that when we get home. Now that is a pile of soil. Oh, I got my work cut out for me. So hopefully that is going to be enough potting soil for the kitchen garden beds. And I thought I'd very quickly just show you. I picked up this one here, this gorgeous little fluffy fella. I did get that ficus for inside. I was thinking maybe in the dining room. And I also picked up that one that I showed you for above the beehive, and they had a larger scooper. I showed you the one with the wooden handle, but this one's actually a bit bigger, which I think will be better. So I am all geared up and ready to go I've got all of my ingredients now, if we continue with that analogy, for getting set up in the kitchen garden beds. So we'll head over there next, and I think maybe next step is going to be to start with a bit of a cleanup of everything that needs to be removed. So I think before I get stuck into the tidy up, I'm going to bring all the soil and the chicken manure and that over here. I think that's just gonna be so much easier to have it standing by instead of having to sort of wander back and forth a million times. I might also grab a couple of the half hoop plant supports to try and lift up the salvia a little bit. I'll bring up my little makeshift repair for this gap. Yeah. All right. I will prop you up somewhere. I'm going to pile all of my ingredients along here, and then we are going to get stuck into cleaning all this out, giving it a really good tidy up. Mum has very, very kindly offered to assist me with this. I'm on a bit of a time crunch. I have an appointment that I've got to make this afternoon, and I would like to have this cleared today. I just would like it cleared. I really want to get my seedlings in ASAP. So, all right, let's get going. All right, ingredients are all piled up, as you can see, and this occasion calls for brand new gardening gloves, so I'm going to break out the strawberry gardening gloves for this. My poor little strawberries are all done now, so I might have to think about getting some new ones from the garden centre. All right, next step is basically trying to tidy it up as much as possible. So weeding needs to be done, the salvia needs to be propped up with the hoops, I need to pull out the tomato, also pull out the cucumber down there, you can see. Possibly give the spinach a very light pruning back. I have been eating it, so I don't want to prune it back too much. And then I want to do the repair. So next step is a general tidy up. All right, cleanup is underway. You can see Mum's still over there in the corner. We can't both fit. It's a very small gap over here, so we can't both fit down there. So Mum's just doing a last little cleanup. I did take out, you would have seen, I took out one of the large salvia, but all of this is kind of cleared. I've cleared in here, done a little prune back on the spinach, but I think the next thing, so generally once you've done your cleanup, I would probably check the integrity of your beds as like a next step. So I've mentioned previously, I've got quite a gap here between the wood, so I've purchased something which I'll share with you, very makeshift. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll trial it and see. Just because there's this gap there, the soil's just, I mean, you can kind of see here, the soil's just kind of coming out. So I wanted to put something there just to kind of stop the soil from leaching out through the hole. And then the other thing I would recommend doing at this point is also checking your irrigation and making sure that all your irrigation is working and that it's covering the beds. But I'm already really happy with how much space this has created. I'm keen to try growing like runner beans up here. I've never grown them before, but it's definitely something I want. If I can get runner beans, I would love to be able to try and do. If you are, I think possibly in the next video, maybe the one after that, we're going to try and head to the garden centre, and I want to do a really good shop for my seedlings for this coming season. So if you'd like to come along and help me select my seedlings, do hit that subscribe button and you can join me when we do that. But runner beans is definitely on my list. Beetroot is on my list. I want to get some kale in here. Yeah, I want to get more tomatoes, more spring onions. Anyway, we'll see what they have at the garden centre and kind of go from there. But as I was, let me just pop you down for a moment. I'm going to get my gloves off to try and do this repair job here. So hopefully you can see there, this is the gap that I was telling you about. Now, what I have purchased are these. It's very, very weird, I know, but they're basically metal little strips and they've got sticky stuff on the back. You're not going to see them in the beds, they're going to be covered with dirt, but I thought what I could do is kind of like stick them on the other side, if I show you. So while that gap's exposed, I could kind of like stick them there, like so, and then the weight of the dirt, once I top all this up with soil, the weight of the dirt will kind of hold them in place as well. And hopefully that will work. So it's definitely makeshift, not the best, but they didn't have, I had something in mind of what I wanted and they just didn't have it. So cheap, easy, and hopefully a good solution. So I'm just going to really quickly pop you down. I'm going to take them out of the plastic and try and stick them on, and I'll show you and we'll see how it goes. I don't know if you can see it, but that's them there. It does work. We should have got more than 2, but that's all right. Good to know. We can probably pick some of those up next time. So once you've done that, you've done your cleanup, you've kind of checked for any repairs or anything that needs to happen, you've checked your irrigation system. The next thing I'm going to do is add in the chicken manure. It is somewhere in, oh there it is, Mum's got it there. So that's the chicken manure there. And you'll remember I purchased this little shovel thing. It is because if you reach in with your gloves to get the chicken manure, it just really, yeah, the gloves aren't great after that. So I think that having the little scooper will be great because we can just easily wash that. So we're just going to go through, sprinkle some chicken manure throughout, just to try and get that nutrients in the soil. If there's any chicken manure left, I might actually go down and chuck some around the blueberries and the raspberries. Ooh, Mum's going to demonstrate for us. Whoops, sorry, I'm just turning you around.
Where are you going to plant? Just up to here?
Well, even at the back there, I want to try some runner beans on that post. So I'll try and top the soil up throughout all of it. So yeah, so you can see just like that. So scooping it out of the bag, she's got her scoop there. It makes it so much easier to distribute as well than trying to have handfuls of it. And then just doing a very light sprinkle. I'm wondering if we should have bought 2 bags of chicken manure. Anyway, I can always add it to the top later and just sort of mulch it through. I'm not doing any seedlings today. We'll do that in another video. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do now, is just sprinkle all the chicken manure around, get a nice coating, do the best we can to try and sort of sprinkle it in amongst the spinach and the rosemary, the spring onions, that kind of thing. Just give everything a really good freshen up with some good nutrients. And hopefully there'll be enough left over for the blueberry and the raspberries. But oh, it's looking so good. It's so sort of fresh now that it's had a bit of a spruce up. I don't know if you can tell, but you can sort of see a light layer of chicken manure down, and it is looking very fresh and tidy. So happy with that, I have to say. I don't know if you can see here. See, this salvia is much smaller than like this one. That is the size that I wanted in these beds. But anywho, we're making do with what we have. And so, fertiliser been spread, we've done a little repair, we've got everything kind of good to go. Last step that I'm going to do, or Mum and I are going to do, is do the soil top up. So you can see we've got all the bags of the organic potting mix here. I have shown you the one that I use, but this is the one that I have been using in the vegetable garden. And we're basically just going to try and top this soil level up as best as we can across all of the beds, so that all the new little seedlings will have fresh, nutritious soil for when they get planted. Alright, I'm going to pop you up somewhere and Mum and I are going to get to work doing this. I might pop you on a bit of a time lapse or something like that. Mum and I were just sitting here watching the bees, and Mum was just commenting how aggressive some of the bees are to other bees. They're fully like fighting over the flowers and like pushing them, you know, other bees away from the flowers. And see a little fella there? He's quite aggressive, that one. See, he's got like the, I don't know if I can zoom. Can you see the colour?
Yellow stripe up. The other one was blue.
He's got a bit of a blue on his bum area.
Oh, okay.
So he's just moved down here now. I don't know if you can kind of make out on like the bum bit. He's got a bit of a... Anyway, he's very aggressive to the other bees. Protecting the pollen. Gosh, they really love the salvia, which is nice. All right. So, there you have it. We are done. I've got a bag and a half left over. I need to drill some holes in that strawberry pot there. It was a self-watering pot, and I'm just finding that the water's going stagnant in the bottom, which is not nice. So I've taken the little self-watering mechanism out of the bottom, and I'm going to drill some holes in it at another point. But yeah, so we've got a bag and a half left of the potting mix. But look how nice it is looking. It looks so fresh and clean and tidy. Oh, very, very happy with that. And very pleased that we got it done today. I can't... They forecast rain basically for the rest of the afternoon, so it's all done and all beautiful and fresh. Just waiting for the new season seedlings to go in. The only other thing that I'd like to do today is... Actually, I'll take you around and I'll show you. But yes, anyway, very quickly, all done. Garden beds are ready. So as I said, they're basically, that's every sort of growing, like main growing season. I have 2 growing seasons each year. And I basically just start off making sure I've got all of my ingredients ready to go, everything I'm going to need. And then I do a really good tidy up of anything that I want to clear out of the beds. I check the beds for anything that needs to be repaired, any sort of maintenance items. Go through that process. Then I do the fertilize. So today we use like the chicken manure. And then after that, I did a really good, or Mum and I did a really good top dressing of the organic soil. Oh, it looks incredible. So nice. My spring onions basically are all year round. I just have them all year round. They sort of cut and come again for me. So they live in here pretty much permanently. The rosemary lives in here permanently, and as does the longevity spinach. So they're my permanent crops, but everything else I'm so excited to get to the garden centre and see what they have in, what seedlings they have, and to be able to purchase them and bring them back and get them all planted up. As I said earlier in the video, if you'd like to come to the garden centre and help me select seedlings, do subscribe and come along for that. But the only other thing I really wanted to do today, if I take you around and show you a brief update, the snack capsicums coming back. They struggled a little bit during summer, but you can see here all the new leaf growth is coming through. Even on this one here, it's getting really nice healthy leaves. The pineapples have definitely stabilized now. I'm very pleased about that. So maybe another couple of weeks, I'd say, and then hopefully I'll be able to get them in the beds. I'm pretty sure I know where they're going to end up. I had thought to put them in the orchard. I just don't think that there's the room, and I don't want to overload the orchard space. So we'll definitely be doing that in a coming video. But what I wanted to show you was an update on, look, that's the little garlic that we propagated together. Look at him. Look, he's got like a whole proper leaf. Isn't that so exciting? So this little fella is going to end up in the kitchen garden beds. I'll do that when I plant up the rest of the seedlings, I think. But because of my success with this experiment, I have actually purchased some additional garlic cloves to propagate. And I don't think I showed you how I did it. It's so unbelievably simple, but I don't think I showed you how I did it last time. So I thought maybe we could really quickly just pop inside and I'll show you how I sort of propagated it, and then we'll sort of, hopefully, it'll have a good root system ready to go for planting out in the kitchen garden beds when we get to that point, when all the rest of the seedlings are here and we get to plant everything up. So let's head inside now, and I'll show you how I propagated the garlic cloves. And the timing of completing this kitchen garden job could not be better. Look at those clouds. It's quite ominous. I'd say we are going to get some rain. All right, let's head inside. Could we also take a moment for this absolutely gorgeous floral arrangement that Mum actually put together from the garden here, from the little cottage garden. We've been going through and trying to do massive clear ups and get everything tidied up. And so these were all sort of the offcuts of things. So she ended up putting together two arrangements. So this one here, which is looking stunning, absolutely stunning. We've got ferns, we've got salvia, we've got cupia, we've got star-cluster panthus in there. So many gorgeous things. It is just beautiful. So wild and wonderful. I love it. And I'll quickly... Oh, that is just starting to rain now. That timing is unmatched. Let's head outside and I'll show you the outside one really quickly. And this is the one outside. Gosh, the wind is really picking up now because we're about to get a little tiny storm cell through. But isn't that so pretty? She did such an incredible job. Oh, gorgeous. So, garlic. These are little garlic cloves that I purchased at the farm shop. Just your typical, I think these are elephant garlic. They are my preferred garlic. I've got two little cloves here, and hopefully you can kind of, if the camera will focus on it. Come on. Can you see how at the end here, it looks like there's little roots starting already? That's kind of what I want. So This is, in my personal opinion, the bottom of the garlic, and that's the top of the garlic. So that bit here at the top is where the leaves and the stalk will kind of come from. So I've got 2 little shot glasses here, and I've just popped some water in them. And basically, all I want to do is make sure the little bottom of the garlic is in the water. So, oh, that's probably too much water there. See, I don't know if you can see there, that's too much water. See how it's completely covering it? There, that'll do. Like so. So you can see just the end bits sort of in the water. What we're wanting to do is encourage the roots to grow out a little bit. Okay, that is my 2 little garlic cloves, just in a small amount of water here at the bottom to encourage that root growth. And that's basically all I did last time, and I think maybe 24, 48 hours, and I already had roots sort of popping through. So that's what I'm going to be looking out for. And then once they've got some good roots, which I imagine will only take a couple of days, hopefully I will have the other seedlings in that I'm wanting to plant, and we can plant up the garlic and all the seedlings together. So on that note, with my little garlic friends planted up, I'm going to bid you farewell. Today's video has definitely been a bit more of a practical video in terms of how I'm getting the gardens ready for the upcoming season, but I do really hope that you enjoyed it. I will see you next Wednesday. Bye.